Hey, Joel. Obviously, you've been here a long time. I think you're one of 8 guys left from the 0-16 team. So, with all that in mind, just how special has this year been, and is the past ever a topic of conversation with you and those other guys?
I think big picture, you look back at years in the past, and it's something that we had to experience. And there's a few guys that have been through that, but Coach Stefanski's done a good job of really having us focus on this year and the next game at hand, which is it's a week-to-week business in this league. You can beat a team and be the best team in the league, and lose a game and be the worst team on a week-to-week basis. But it's all about riding that wave and not riding that wave and just being the same team every week, and that's kind of what we're focused on. But I think big picture, when you look back after the season, it'll be nice to look back and be like, who's been through some of the stuff here. But right now, we're just really focused on the Ravens and trying to get out there and get a win against them.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zach. Nate Ulrich has our next question.
Hey, Joel. A lot of coaches and players on Zoom this week have talked about differences between week 1 and now for you guys. What do you think some of those are, and how much does Baker have to do with that, and what have you seen in him lately that's kind of clicked?
Yeah, that was our first time out, and they beat us pretty good. Got after us, and it was all the credit to them. They were ready, and we didn't come out to play that game. Really no excuse for that. But I think as a team, we've developed an identity. We've tried to run the ball better. We've tried to play action pass, and when people load the box, I think Baker has shown the ability to take the top off defenses, and that's with good wide receiver play and tight ends and guys getting open and running open and doing their job. Everybody on the offense is really focused on their 111th. If we're running a play fake, it's up to the O-line, the tight ends, the running backs, all to sell it so that people are looking in the backfield and not covering their guys. But no, Baker, man, he's taking care of the ball. He's taking his shots when he can, and it's impressive to see. We have a real challenge, and like you said, they kind of had our number last time we played them. But in division, we'll see how it goes this time around. But I think a lot has changed. I think we found our identity, and our defense is still taking the ball away and doing those things, and that's kind of what we've preached all year is ball security on offense and takeaways on defense.
Thank you, Nate. Scott Petrick, you're up.
Hey, Joel, do the Ravens blitz more than any other defense you face?
I think so. It's weird. They do weird percentage. Like the Steelers blitz like a ton too, but it's like TJ Watt and Bud Dupree coming off the edge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where these guys actually have like a lot of different situations, and it'll be a game time decision. But you see every week, they'll have different defensive formations and different ways they can blitz you. But they bring the house, and they're not afraid to move guys around and bring DBs when they have to, and they overload you with big guys on one side and bring a couple DBs to the other. They do a lot of different things, so it's good that we have a set of rules and ways to try and pick it up. But as you can see, like if you watch their tape, they have a new way to get home every week, and it's usually someone running free.
And is that variety what makes it so tough on you guys?
Yeah, I mean, they have great players too, but it's variety. I mean, if you have a team that only does a certain thing, like you can usually scheme a protection to kind of pick it up. But here, they bring 4 to a side, and it's 4 big guys on one side, and you're like, all right, they're rushing from that side. They bring two DBs off the backside. You only send a running back that way, But then the next time you run there, they can bring the 4 big guys to the side. So you can't really pick and choose which way you want to slide the protection or who you want to pick up. You know what I mean? It's kind of just a guessing game in that sense. But if you have your base rules and you see different looks, that's where you get set, and then the quarterback can get rid of the ball or switch it if he sees something, cadence variation, all those things come into play, but they do a great job of disguising it. And that's one of our biggest challenges this week is picking up those blitzes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Adi Kinkabwala is next.
Joel, you just mentioned that this is in division. And it's funny because last week, Ron Rivera said, if you have not played football, you cannot understand what it means to play a division rival. You're smiling, so I'm assuming you agree with that. Can you tell me what is so different about playing the Ravens than, let's say, playing the Titans?
Yeah, it's one of those things. You're part of, but you play them twice a year. So no matter what, you have, the Ravens, the Steelers, and the Bengals twice a year. And so you get used to the guys you're playing against. You get used to the schemes and stuff. And when you play a new team, like we played the NFC East this year, we don't play them for 4 years. And so it's the first time you really play against those guys in a game and see those guys. So not just like scheme-wise, but like understanding who you're playing against. So it's a chess match of like, all right, last time he was bull rushing me a lot. Like, is that what he's going to bring this time? You know, what type of pass rush moves, what scheme on defense? They're running jam defense or something like that. And are they going to change it up this time? And I think you can see it too. Like, if you look at the NFL, like they're usually division games. I mean, it happens, you know what I mean? But there's a toss up. Like even, you know, last year we got the Ravens once, they came back and got us, you know what I mean? The Bengals got, like, they're usually just like close games, they're battles, and you know you're going to see them again. Sometimes you play a team and you play them and it's like, all right, we'll see you in 4 years, or we'll see you in the Super Bowl or something like that. But for us, it's, you know, all right, we'll see you next year at some point, probably the first game of the season again. And it's just one of those things, like, you want to win those games, and the quickest way to get to the playoffs is through your division.
Okay, so on that note, Calais Campbell is new to the Ravens. You don't necessarily have the same history with him. You have a one-game history. What's so special about him? If he plays more than 26 snaps this week, what will that be?
I mean, strictly just looking at the guy, like his size, his length, and his height, like, and that's one of the things too. If he doesn't get home in a pass rush, he gets his hands on balls. I think you guys saw it last week. He got a tip, or he had 2 in our game. I know that the last time we played him. So he's just an active vet, and he knows, hey, if we're running the ball, or he knows his fit, and he's just always in the right place at the right time. But his sheer size and power kind of overpowers guys sometimes, and he's you know, been great. He's made his money his career on finishing those plays. But I think he's also like their vocal leader. If you see him, you know, he gets them pumped up before games, and he kind of brings that edge. And they didn't have him and Brandon Williams for a few games, but those two guys are run stopping guys that can get after the passer too. I think they're very important to their defense, and they were missing those guys for a few weeks.
One more, if it's okay. Do you dread facing a guy like that, or do you love it?
I mean, every week there's a guy that you have to go against that's a great player in this league. You know what I mean? So it's one of the challenges. You know, you look at the schedule, and at least for me, like I look at a schedule and I see a defense. You know, who am I going to go up against that week? You know, you see the Steelers. Think like, for me, at least personally, it's Cam Hayward. You go to the Bengals, it's Geno, and then you go to these guys, the Ravens now, and I got Brandon Williams, like Calais Campbell, and it's a battle. You know, you're going to go out there and fight, and you know, for an offensive lineman, you gotta win more than you lose, or they get the advantage there. So it'll be a fun battle, and it's always fun going out there and getting to play against the best.
Hey, Uditi, Marla, right now your line's open.
Yeah, Joel, do you get a sense that Jarvis, you know, he had a big game, you know, he's feeling better. He's, you know, he's moving up on the list with 5 or more catches in like 71 games. I mean, and it's, you know, that's like Marvin Harrison, you know, like numbers. Do you think people appreciate just where he ranks as far as that kind of consistency and all that?
Yeah, you know, I think the last couple games, like you said, he's come on. He's had big games. I think it was going down to Florida to get some sun, really woke him up. No, he's done a good job, and you know, we found ways to get him the ball, and we've had to pass more the last couple weeks instead of those 3 games where we were, you know, strictly run the ball. You couldn't pass the ball more than 10 yards. So I think it just opened up the offense a little bit, and he got a couple touchdowns now, and I think he's getting in a rhythm. But I mean, the production's always been there. You know, the catch production, you look at his career, he's one of the, you know, it was always like the fastest guy to 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 catches, however many it is, you know, and he's done it his whole career. And you know, you don't really know about it until he's your teammate, and you see, oh, there's his, you know, 400 catches or whatever it is now. But, you know, he just finds a way to get the ball, and we find a way to get to him. But I think it's just one of those things. He's one of those guys that when he does well, the team kind of rallies behind it and is excited for him. But we've had a lot of young receivers, you know, stepping up the last few weeks, and it's been really good to see, you know, Higgy and DPJ and those guys just like really taking off.
And one more thing, and we've talked a lot about Stefanski's leadership, but is there something about his presence or anything that just strikes you, you know, just make as different or anything?
With Coach Stefanski?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's hard to explain, but he's just the same guy. Like win, lose, indifferent. You know, it's just the same thing every week. You know, the expectations never change, and that's to always work, to always improve, to always put the team first. And that's his model, and that's the way he coaches us and talks to us, and that's just who he is. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to explain on like a personality level, but it's just those expectations. The standard never changes, and that's what you know, that's what we're focused on each week.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marla. Mary Kay Cabot is next.
Yeah, Joel, can you sort of address how Baker Mayfield has handled all the second guessing and the criticism, you know, nationally, locally, people doubting him this year? And it just seems like, you know, he's kind of established himself as the guy again and sort of has his swagger back.
Yeah, you know, it's it's one of those things we don't really talk about. Like, oh, did you hear what ESPN Cleveland, said about you, or the guys on ESPN were talking about the Browns. Like, we're really trying to focus on what we have, but you can tell with his play, he has that passion. He's always had that passion, but he has that confidence in what he's doing and the plays he's making. And I think the coaches are putting him in a good spot, and we're trying to protect for him. And like I said earlier, it's a week-to-week business. Like you can't live on the ups and downs of the NFL. It will torture you if you think about every week, the good, the bad. You have to be focused on the week at hand, and I think he's done a great job of that. And it's just his focus to try and improve and fix the things that need to be fixed. And it's everybody's mentality, though. We all want to be better each and every week and work to get that. But I really don't. I think the best thing is he hasn't listened to any of the noise outside, good, bad, or indifferent. He's just ready to take that next step and keep working and keep improving.
Are you seeing some of that same 2018 stuff that you saw that made, all of you guys and the whole city and everyone else believe that he was the guy?
Yeah, I mean, he's always been like, his personality is just like, we gravitate towards him. I mean, that's what he's been since, he stepped on the field against the Jets that game, and really since he stepped into the building. That's always been there, and it's obviously like when you're winning games, it's more apparent. You know what I mean? When you're not winning games, like, oh, their energy's low. It's like, yeah, we lost. It's one of those tough things. So I think he's just been the same guy. Like he's worked and he worked and maybe he's done a better job this year of just focusing on the week ahead. But you know what I mean? Like he's always had that swagger, and he's always been that guy that has that brings that juice for the rest of the team to kind of thrive off of.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Kay. Dan Lobby, you're up.
Hey, Joel, I'm curious, going back to that week one, because you guys didn't have a lot of on-field work, did Coach Stefanski have to kind of pare down the offense a little bit for you guys, and how much has it sort of opened up since then?
Yeah, I think game flow kind of affected us as well. I mean, I don't know about the passing game. I thought we had a decent amount of runs in the game because we had done in training camp. But like you said, we hadn't got a preseason game. We hadn't got a thing. But when you get down early, I think we passed more than we probably have in most of the games that game. I watched tape from that first game, and there wasn't too many opportunities to really keep pounding the ball, because we had a few good runs. We had a few good runs where the run game, I think we ran for like 140 or something, maybe something like that. Chubb and Kareem both broke off a few, but it was just a different game flow that week, and I think we do have a different identity now. But I can't really speak to like exactly what we were doing, passing game wise. But I think run game, it was a pretty normal week of install. But I know we have a lot more plays now that we've ran and put on tape, and that we feel comfortable running.
Thanks.
Thank you, Dan. We'll take two more, Nate Ulrich and Tom Withers. Nate, go ahead.
Hey, Joel, I saw that you're leading the fan vote for Pro Bowl votes among guards, all the guards in the league. I was wondering, do you think this is your best season? Do you even think of it in those terms?
I mean, I appreciate the fans voting. Obviously, like that's a huge honor, and I think it was my commercial, the Fuel Up to Play 61 that got me over the hump. It's hard to think about it like when you're playing a week-to-week, schedule. You think about it, you want to improve. I do think I've gotten better each and every year at something, you know what I mean? And something's improved, and staying on the field and playing snaps and stuff, it has helped. And obviously being next to JC and Jed and Coach Callahan coming in and Coach Stefanski's offense, like it all feels very, very good this year. You know what I mean? But to look at it from like a, overall best year and stuff, we still have so many games to play and things like that. You just want to keep improving and keep working to be the best that you can be.
You've made it, last couple of years, but and you guys have had a few guys. You look forward to having more Browns getting recognition as individuals because you guys are now a winning team, and
yeah, I hope so. I mean, obviously, winning games is the main goal, and I think every single guy on the team would state like, hey, we want to win games before personal accolades. But when you look back at your career and you can say, hey, I was a Pro Bowler, or hey, I made an All-Pro team, there's an honor to that, and that means fans, coaches, other players are recognizing that you're a good player in this league, and the more games you win, usually there's more guys that can make those Pro Bowl rosters, All-Pro rosters, and I think we just have more talented players. You know what I mean? Guys have been working and guys have been grinding, and hopefully we get those honors. But again, we're really just trying to focus on how can we win this next game.
Thank you, Nate. The final question goes to Tom Withers.
Couple quick ones, Rob, if you don't mind. Thanks very much. Hey, Joel, have you ever made Nick Chubb smile or laugh?
I'm sure I have, but I don't remember how. Probably like a sarcastic joke or something like that gets him to smile. He'll laugh. He'll give you like a good chuckle here and there, but not something I can remember off the top of my head.
And now I ask you this as a multiple time Good Guy Award winner. You mentioned the media before, and while we miss interacting with you and a few of the other guys, has it been good not to have us around? Has there been a benefit to that?
I'll tell you what, like I said, we miss you guys and everything like that. And it's, we only have to do this once a week instead of every day in the locker room. But after the games, you have a little bit more time to compose yourself. Even if you do have to talk to the media, like you kind of just get to sit in your locker and relax for a second and just, talk to your wife or talk to somebody and just really compose yourself. So there's some elements to it that, are definitely different. You don't have as many like sidebar one-on-one conversations with you guys, but from like a decompressing, mode and just being like, all right, I can relax for 15, 20 minutes and not think about the game for a second and then go talk to the media or then go, have a discussion like that. That has been nice. And you can kind of eat in the locker room if you need to, or something like that, grab a snack, all the little things that kind of add up after a game where sometimes you get ambushed right after the game and you gotta be ready for some hard hitting questions.